Here we go. We're going live. Oh, and we're live. Kia ora and welcome to Helen's Greatest Adventures Day. I don't even know what day I'm on. What day am I on? 740 something. Hang on.
Wow.
I know. Long time, huh?
I know. Wow.
741. And tonight we have an incredible guest with us. And I get the honor and the privilege, yay, of introducing you to Shantha Mony, who is the CEO of Luxury Destinations Concierge, which is an amazing travel agency. And she's a travel specialist. She's a travel professional. She is just awesome. So Shantha, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, thank you, Helen. Privileged to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm just tickled. I'm just like shaking with excitement here. So tell me, Shantha, how did you went from a corporate job into doing travel? Oh my gosh, what a big change that is. I did the same thing.
I know. A lot of us come to a point, right, in our corporate career that says, okay, but for me, my passion has been in travel, even just from growing up, with family travel and things. So I had that in me. And I knew at some point I wanted to get into that world. But we moved from India years and years ago, and it wasn't the right time when we came here. The kids were young, had family obligations, so that, of course, you get into the corporate world, and then you get suckered into it and staying there for a while, for a long time.
Oh, I know that feeling very well.
I know. But that passion in me never died. So while I was working, I started the company. So started it, and then it grew to a point where, I wasn't doing justice to either one of them. It wasn't fair to my clients to work on just evenings and weekends when a lot of things do need to get into. And then, of course, my mind wasn't always in my corporate career. So it took a leap of faith, and, just went full-time into travel and haven't looked back.
Wow, I can't believe how similar your story is to mine.
Oh, really?
We have a very similar story, like growing up, family travel all the time on vacations and stuff, getting that love of travel from that.
Right.
And then going into the corporate jobs and everything else, starting the travel business while working and doing it part-time. The only difference is you chose to take that leap of faith. I got booted into a leap of faith when I got laid off from my corporate job.
Oh.
But when they told me I'd been laid off, my response was, awesome!
I know.
Meanwhile, Brad thought I had got one of the new positions that were advertised in the restructure of our company. And when I told him I hadn't, he wasn't very happy. And I was just sort of like, and we're driving on a freeway, and I'm bouncing and saying, no, you don't understand. And never look back. So, yeah, very, very similar starts.
We went through a couple of restructuring within the company, and I was just praying, let me be the one, because that didn't happen. So.
Well, I kind of had a feeling I wasn't going to get any of the positions anyway. So I was just, because I've been trying to figure out how can I build a travel business big enough that I can leave the corporate job. So I had gotten to that point like you had where you weren't doing justice with either of them. And I had gotten to as well. Did our cameras just recycle? I just had a little...
I know, it's kind of breaking up a little bit, but I hope it's not my end here.
Hang on, I'm checking my end. Nope, we got full strength on the Wi-Fi thing.
Okay, good.
Actually, if I close that down, that'll stop the Wi-Fi. So we're doing that juggling thing, and you get to that point, and it's like, how can I make this work? And then they provided me with a solution. I was like, yay!
Awesome, yeah.
So that's awesome. Now, some of your things that you love to do, which are near and dear to my heart too, is retreats. I love doing retreats. Fundraising with travel, and I like your bucket list for women. I thought that was actually really cool. And you take widowed, divorced, or single women who want to experience their places on their bucket list. Oh my gosh, what are some of the destinations they've gone to?
You've done South America, you've done the Machu Picchu in those places, Africa. I think. But what I've found is, it's not that people don't always don't have a partner to travel with. There are some times when they just don't want to travel, right? The other partner doesn't want to travel. And so I find that there's really a need for women to be able to travel safely in a great environment where they don't have to worry about, being on their own. Everything is planned for. So that's what I love. It's just a combination of different people coming from different backgrounds who just have the passion for traveling.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that that they can come together and travel safely together. I like that.
Yeah.
I know there's women out there who have got, I don't know what the hell they've got, but they go out there and they just go traveling to all these different places and stuff. And you hear about the stories that they bring back, and some of the stuff that went wrong on their trip. And I'm like, and you did that by yourself?
I know.
Which I guess it's like me driving in an RV. People see me and they go, "Did you drive that yourself?" And I go, "Yeah." Like it's no big deal.
That was a big thing for. I was wondering about that too. Bravo to you for doing that.
And people think it's brave, and I'm like, I'm just driving a vehicle.
Yeah. Thankfully, you didn't have any major situations where you had a safe time back, so it was good.
I have been very fortunate that when we're on the road, we actually have very safe travel. I am very, very blessed and fortunate for that, and very thankful for that. And I set the intention every day that it's going to be a great day of travel. We're going to travel safely. The conditions are going to be good. There's been some days where the conditions haven't been ideal, but we got through it. It's just one of those things you have to do. Yeah. It's like in business, you get those things you just have to do.
Yeah. Things happen even when you're not traveling, right? That you have to work through with. So that's another part of life.
So now the big question is going to be from some people, what about the global pause? How has that affected your business?
I've been in touch with my clients, and everybody has to be comfortable at the time they want to travel, right? It's something that's personal. You can't just say, okay, everything is opened up, here you go. Because some people may be brave enough to do that or want to do that. Some people just want to step back and wait. So it's really, I just encourage all my clients and my friends, don't stop planning, continue the planning and be prepared, and don't wait till the last minute to, as everything is getting booked over the places that are open. So if you're at a point where you can go, just go ahead and plan it right now and do it. If not, keep dreaming of that bucket list that you have, and don't, I always say, get the kids involved. If you have kids, get the family involved, but just keep that vision and keep going.
I had one group, and they would have a barbecue. That would be the planning barbecue. And the idea with the planning barbecue is that they all took turns and got blindfolded. They had a map pinned to the fence. They all had turns of being blindfolded, spun around, and then they had to throw a dart at the map. And the area that got hit the most, that was where they were going to go. And some years they turned the map upside down, so Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa would become a possibility, because they always tended to throw at shoulder height, which was sort of the northern hemisphere.
Right.
I thought that was crazy. They were just crazy people, but they always had the most greatest adventures and everything.
That's a fun way to do it, though, right?
It's a fun way. Oh, I think that's you just plan a trip for the sake of planning a trip. Now, I've had this happen to me. Have you had this happen where somebody calls up and says, "I want to get on a plane next week, and I don't care where it goes"?
Right. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Don't get around, and you just plan it. And and then, of course, then you get the other place spectrum too. They know where they want to go, but they just want you to do everything and plan it for them, and that's what we're there for, right? Whether it's not knowing what or where they need to go, it's fun.
Now, you have a specialty in safaris in Africa, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
So what is it about the safaris that you like so much?
I love Africa as a whole. The safaris are amazing experience. I remember the first time we went, I said, why didn't we come here earlier? Because it's such a great way to see especially if you're a wildlife enthusiast, right? Just to be in the midst of them and seeing that. But I also love the culture and the people of Africa. They are so, so welcoming and so thankful for everything that they have, that it really, really touches my heart. Even the little kids, they don't have much, but the smiles on their face and the happiness they have, it's just beautiful.
I'd love to see it. That's on my bucket list. It is on my bucket list to go and do that. I want to go see the Big Five.
Yeah. I've taken a couple of mission trips to Africa, and one picture which is so vivid in my memory that we take like soccer balls and stuff when we go for the kids in the school. When we drove up into the school, the kids were playing soccer, but what their soccer ball was just a ball of cardboard.
Wow. They loved a real soccer ball.
Yeah, they did, and they were happy.
Yep. Yeah, it's what amazes me is that some people they see kids like that don't have much yet they're having a wild time, and they're like, oh my gosh, these poor children, they don't have much and all that. I'm like, stop, look at their faces.
Right.
Look at how they're playing and look at the joy on their faces. I said they don't know anything better. This is what they know. And so you have to remember that when you're traveling, that when you see things like that, that is all they know. They don't know about all the technology out there. Right. They don't know about all that other stuff that's out there. Yeah. And they're happy.
They're so happy.
That's the important part, is that they're happy. Let them be happy.
Yeah, it's so welcoming, even the adults over there. You have that in a lot of other countries, right? Fiji's another one. I love the people there.
I've only got as far as the airport in Nandi.
Oh.
And that was for a layover on my way to New Zealand.
I know, it's so close for you.
I know. Well, my parents went to Fiji. My uncle I think it was my uncle was supposed to get married in Australia. So my parents had saved up to go for the wedding, and then the wedding got called off. So they changed the trip to go for a couple of weeks in Fiji instead. And so that was like back in the 70s. But they had a blast over there, and I've always wanted to go there based on their stories. And then I got to go to Nandi, but because I was under there, they've got a window in the international area when you're changing planes that if you're under this window, you have to stay in the airport. If you're over, you have to leave. It's not an either or. You have to stay if you're under this time, and you have to leave if you're over this time. Right. My layovers, I think my longest layover was 5 hours, and I think the cutoff was like 7 hours or something. If you're over 7 hours, you had to leave the airport. And I thought, yeah, you could go see a little bit in that time. Not much, but you could see some.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. I love what you're doing with your genealogy, because there's so much of history and family that you can even just go taking a trip, right, with your
exactly,
and just to go to the genealogy, go see where the people have been born and brought up, and that's such a great connection there that you have with the genealogy and taking the people there.
Oh, absolutely. But the one thing I love about travel is the stories. I love the stories, and we're currently encouraging our viewers to start writing their own stories. We give them a question of the day, and hoping that they're writing all their stories. They get to hear my stories as they come out when I ask them the question of the day. And today's question of the day was, okay, so we're going to ask you, who was your favorite author when you were growing up?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, mine was Enid Blyton.
Really? Awesome. Were you watching us this morning?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, favorite books by Enid Blyton.
Oh gosh, The Secret Seven and Five Gone or whatever. I love those.
Famous Five.
Famous Five, yeah.
Those were my favorites. Enid Blyton was my favorite author. There was the Famous Five, The Secret Seven. Right. Then I threw in there the Nancy Drew series, the Hardy Boys series, Trixie Belden. So all of the kids' mystery stories. So I wonder where my love for researching mysteries came from. Oh, and Encyclopedia Brown. It was another one of my favorites.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, some of those books were so great. I know.
I actually still have. Oh, and then she wrote she also wrote the Faraway Tree series as well.
Yes, she did.
Yes, where you climb up the tree, and it depended what cloud was above you as to what land you would end up in. And you weren't sure how long the cloud was going to stay there, so you either had to make it a quick trip or you'd get stuck there and have to figure out how to get back.
Yeah, I don't have very many of those. I may just have saved a couple of them. I don't think I have very many.
Yeah, I think I have a Famous Five book, and I have one or two of the Faraway Trees. I don't know what happened to the rest of them. They probably got donated over the years. So that's so interesting. Oh my gosh.
You know what I liked? The other thing, I don't remember it so much as me growing up, but with the kids were growing up, was the Naughty series.
I love Naughty.
That was so cute.
Yes, that. And the other one I liked too was the Three Golliwogs.
I don't remember that.
That's where you had the three. I always looked at them as triplets. Identical triplets, and and there was always the confusion when one of them would go to the store and get something and bring it back, but not tell the other two, and there was always just this confusion of things like one would go do something and come back, and then another one would turn around and say, "Oh, we need to go do this," so they would go do the exact same thing, and the person who they were dealing with was sort of like, "Hang on, weren't you just in?" They're like, "No." And then the third one would come in, and then they get back and they find out they got the one I remember vividly was the three jugs of cream. And they sit down and they've got 3 jugs of cream there, and they all start laughing. So then they go back to the guy, they got the 3 jugs, and the 3 of them walk in, and the poor guy just about has a heart attack. But I thought it's a good lesson in how to deal with people who are identical, like identical twins and identical triplets, and how you can get confused with them as well. And it comes out through genealogy. So, there you go. You learned a lot from those books.
See, you had it in you right from the time you were growing up. So a little later.
Well, photo albums for me were storybooks. They were my picture storybooks. I loved photo albums, and I didn't know who half the people were. I didn't know how they were related to me. I didn't understand all of that greats and grands and all of that sort of stuff. I knew who my grandparents were, and I was fortunate that I got to see to be with one set of great grandparents. So I got to talk with that older generation. Then there was the great aunts and uncles and all that sort of stuff. So it was kind of fun. So one thing I kind of wish I had done with my mom, because I would tell my mom, here's my kids, the grandparents' book, why don't you sit and write it? And she just had such a hard time writing it. I should have just made it talk into a microphone and recorded it, which now thinking back, I regret not doing that, but I hope everybody who's listening does that nowadays, because I know sometimes it's a big chore to sit and write down memories, but so easy just to speak into it. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been telling you. Either use pen and paper, use voice to text, one of the those programs where you can just talk into it and it'll type it on the screen for you. Type it yourself on the screen, videotape yourself doing it, audio record it. Just find some way to get those stories recorded for prosperity. Right. And I'm telling, and my thing is that there's somebody who needs to hear your story. It may not be in the now. It could be 150 years from now that your story is going to have an impact on somebody.
So true.
Yeah. And so that's my thing. So I have another question for you, because we've got this thing going along the bottom of the screen about the entrepreneurial cruise. So this is about retreats at sea on this. Now, I know you do land and sea for retreats. Yeah. But this is going to be the entrepreneurial cruise, which is going to be a event at sea, which I love those. So what can you tell us about the entrepreneurial cruise? Because this is just such an amazing thing that's going to happen. So everybody, listen up.
Yeah. I have so much fun in creating these cruises, and this particular one is something that we host. So we've invited a couple of really great, amazing speakers and experts in the field of business, marketing, social media, things like that. And then along with entrepreneurs, we mastermind. We have some time for the speakers time, and then we have mastermind, and then we discuss what's been working best for you. If somebody has a question, it's a true mastermind sometime over there. And then it's kind of like a days at sea that we have our programs, and then in the afternoons it's your fun time. You get to do what you want. You enjoy the ship. And then we meet again for dinner. So it's kind of a business, half fun. So it's a great way to meet new people while you're having fun. And you never know, because I think all the relationships that are formed are not really in the room in the time that we're having our event. It's outside, when you're hanging out by the pool, when you're out in the bar, or when you're just having fun, maybe taking some tours together. So you never know who your next JV partner or your next client or your next coach, whatever you're looking for may be there. So it's so much fun.
What I like about these two is that you have those little pop-up meetings. So even after everything's done, it could be that you're sitting in like the piano lounge or something. We had one on Liberty of the Seas one time, and we're sitting in this corner of the lounge, and we're just sitting there and we're just shooting the breeze and talking, and then it starts turning to business. And then all of a sudden you've got this impromptu huge conversation going on with a bit of masterminding in there, a bit of coaching in there, lots of ideas flowing. And your group just got bigger and bigger and bigger as people from your group started walking past. And they'll pull up a chair and sit down and join in the conversation.
So true.
Yeah, and I love those impromptu things. And I remember doing, there's a couple of cruises I organized one time, and we got down to the port and I wasn't leaving the ship. So I would go and sit out by the pool underneath the shelter thing, and I literally sat there for 6 hours one day. And the waiters kept bringing me water, which was fine. And I had my notebook there because my intent was I was going to sit there, just do some writing and journaling and that sort of stuff. And then somebody from our group came and sat down with me and we started talking. And then somebody else came and joined us. Then the first person left, and then the second person left. And so I started writing again, and then somebody else came in. And it was just this constant flow of people for 6 hours. It was fantastic. And I didn't know that I'd been there for 6 hours till everybody had left. So like, okay, I'm kind of getting a little hungry. I think I'm going to go get some lunch. And I look up and it's like, we're past the lunch hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the beauty of the cruise, right? That because you can make these connections, and a lot of times while you're at sea, people don't have anywhere to go to, so you do form those bonds while you're there, and because it's a business type, of course you're going to have to check with your accountant and things like that, but it is a business. It could be a business expense because you are spending quite a bit of time in the group as a business event.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing the group cruises. I love them because it's so much fun. And the thing I like too for those that I have organized the event and for the speakers that are on the event, they have a captured audience.
Yes, they do. Mm-hmm.
They can't get on this. They can't get up and go and answer a call. They can't really get on the internet too well at sea. In some places you can. So you've actually got them. They can't get up to go and have. Or they can get out and go and have meetings with other people, but it's literally a captured audience. And because you're I can't really say a confined space because the ship's not really confined, but it is confined on the ocean there. Because you're in a place where you can't go wandering off onto land or anything else, it's very easy to find people and go, well, why weren't you in session this afternoon? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I found that the speakers, they're so open to, talking with, because it's all just fun over there, just having conversations. Even after our event during the evening. So it's a really fun time. Oh,
I love it's the after the meetings that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes you get some of the best golden nuggets after the meetings.
True.
Those impromptu ones in the back corner of the piano lounge, or upstairs by the pizza bar, or out by the pool or wherever. So,
and you get to learn so much more about everybody, right? Because you do form that bond over there while you're there.
Yes, absolutely. So if people want to find out about it, the link is, hang on, scroll. I'm going to get this thing on.
Scrolling there.
Hang on. I'm going to go back this way, scrolling across the screen here. So what's the dates for the cruise?
Yes, we leave on March 1st out of Los Angeles, and we just have an overnight in Cabo. It's a really great itinerary because not very many of the cruises have an overnight stay. But Princess does have that overnight stay. So we reach Cabo one afternoon and we don't leave till the next afternoon. So you get time to spend at port, maybe go to a restaurant over there, have a good time there. And then we get back on the 6th morning. So the 1st to the 6th.
Awesome. And I love Cabo because Cabo has if you're into shopping, they have that really cool little shopping area right down there by the port. And there's that marketplace too, where there's some really cool booths in there, and the stores are really nice. They've got some really great stores in there too.
Yeah, and great eating places too. If you want to take a break from the ship's food and just go there.
And here's a tip: if you need to get free internet, you go to the coffee shop, buy a cup of coffee, and you get the code for the internet.
Yeah.
As long as you buy something, they will give you the code. That one I learned.
Well, so this is going to be on the brand new ship. So I
was about to ask you that. Is it a brand new ship?
Yeah, it's a brand new ship. I do hope it's going to be here on time. So we're praying that it will be here, because it was supposed to be here in November, but because of the delay in the shipyards, so it's going to be here. But I know it's going to be here, and we will be on that. So
is it a new class of Princess, or is it a sister ship to one of the other ones they already have?
It's a sister ship to one of the other ones. So this is the Discovery Princess.
Discovery Princess. Ooh.
Yeah.
What's it a sister ship to?
I believe it's the it's not the it's not the Radiance. Radiance is a Carnival.
Royal?
Yeah.
So they have got the Skywalk.
Yeah, I've just gone blank on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that has a Skywalk?
No.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not one of those ones. All right.
No.
I remember going on Princess Royal for it was Princess Royal for one of her inaugural cruises, the 2-night cruise to nowhere. And that's when we met Gavin McLeod. He was on board.
Oh, okay.
And so I got to have pictures taken with him, which was and got him to sign a couple of copies of the books. And one went down to New Zealand for my parents, and I've got the other one. So that was that was on the Princess Royal, and they had the Skywalk up on the.
Yeah.
And on one side they had the Sky Bar.
Mm-hmm.
and the other one, that skywalk with all the glass flooring on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. I walked over it, no problem on port, and got down to one, walked on it once before. It's not as high as some of the glass floor ones.
Yeah.
So they need to go to travelwithshantha.com to find out more information about the entrepreneurial cruise, which is March 1st to 6th.
Right.
Awesome. Yes, going out of LA.
Out of LA
On a brand new princess ship.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I love new ships. I love them.
Yeah, I love them. And, and we don't get very many of the ships coming here as like the borders. So it's a treat when they do come here and they're bringing out some of the ships. Now, the Royal Caribbean is going to come back here next year. So that's going to be fun. So hopefully more and more ships will come out here and have some interesting itineraries as well.
That's what I'm hoping for too.
Yeah.
Yes, I know they're building a big port area down by Magdalena Bay. They're going to be doing a big cruise port area down there, which is going to be a little more upmarket than Cabo. So it'll be between, Ensenada and Cabo.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be cool when that gets finished and done.
Yeah,
that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Shantha, thank you so much for coming on this evening and sharing some of your travel stuff with us. It's awesome. I love it.
Thank you, Helen. It was such a pleasure talking with you here and your audience here. Thank you so much.
Okay, and if you want to contact Shantha or get more information about the Entrepreneur Cruise, just go to travelwithshantha.com. It's going across the bottom of the screen here, wherever it is, whichever. It's going one way. My hands are going the opposite way. And so thank you again, Shantha, and we look forward to catching up with everybody. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Winning Wednesday. Hey, konara.